here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's actually not a roster. It's a rumored roster.
Okay.
What do you think about Slasher, Craze,
Yep.
Renegade, and Bound? Do you think
I
that's a
already
good
said
roster?
earlier.
Do you
Nope,
think that's a
I
good
would not
roster?
put 2 Halo players on the same team.
Why?
Nope.
Why would you not do that?
Way too big of a risk. Way too big of a catch-up. Tom, here's my alternative. Hear me and hear me clear.
Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening.
I said if you want to put 1 Halo player on the team around 3 inherent COD guys, I'm all for it. But if I was the GM of a bottom 4 team, I would be looking at challengers, and I would be very quick to pull the trigger if one of those players is performing. Last Shot, Cycle, Renegade, Bound, Dylan COD, maybe a little more difficult. Anybody that has a spotlight, whether it be in a different game or a previous COD title, if I'm a bottom 4 team, I'm pulling the trigger as fast as I possibly can before he gets picked up by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not start with multiple Halo pros on the same team. I think that would just be a disaster for the beginning of the year.
So you would still take risk, but you wouldn't do 2 Halo guys.
Correct. I'm okay with a little bit of risk. I just think 2 guys is like,
no,
okay,
I feel like Carolina, you could take a big risk. You can, Tony, you can. Why not try and sign players for the minimum and try and find like some just really good players without big names?
I'll tell you why. Because your odds of beating the top teams in the beginning of the year are way higher than later in the year. So if you're playing catch up in the beginning of the year when the top teams are most vulnerable, I think you're screwing yourself up.
Yeah, but you can still win. Like you can still win those games while taking a risk. Like you still win those games early. Like it's gonna be, even if you're taking a risk, what you just said is true, right? Like even if you pick up 3 Halo guys, right? Like that's the easiest time for them to actually probably win something is probably gonna be early in the game when everybody's fresh.
I think
Halo guys are a little bit different because they don't play COD. But no, Tony, 100%. If you take risk on like challenger players in the beginning of the game, they're gonna be. It's gonna be easier for them to beat the top teams early than for the year to go as the year goes on and progresses. Because all the top teams are gonna keep getting better. They're gonna keep getting. They're gonna keep going higher. Boom, boom, boom. And then these other guys are gonna stay stagnant because they're just not good teams and they're not actually in good like systems and good environments. Like they're gonna stay stagnant.
Okay, think about Shotzi. Shotzi struggled in the beginning of his Call of Duty career for a bit, right? You had to give him time.
Yeah, but you know why he struggled.
Spot.
Yeah, but you know why he struggled, though.
Tom, think of it like this. He was around better players. He was around literally the GOATs of Call of Duty at that time. And he had 1 year of Call of Duty grind time before that. These guys are about to go directly from Halo Worlds into CDL games in less than a month and a half. I think if you're going to take a risk, you can do 1 player max, surround him by 3 COD guys. That way that guy can play catch up as much as possible. If you pick up 2 guys, the team's all out of whack. I don't give a fuck if it's the beginning of the year. You're not beating Thieves or Optic with 2 Halo guys in the beginning of the year. Yeah, you can't disagree with
that. Yeah, because they're not going to be playing the game early when it first drops. What's the Halo schedule goes into the COD release, right?
No, the Halo ends October 26th. Next week's the final tournament.
Oh, okay. So then they're not really behind.
I mean, they're going to have 2 weeks of wagers or chows, whatever. And then the rumor is the league starts beginning of December, early December, mid-December.
But like, here's the thing. It's new maps. It's new everything. Like, I just don't, like, everybody's kind of starting at square one. Like if a Halo Pro is actually, like, good and, like, is smart and, like, actually learns how to play the game quickly and, like, it's just grinding, like, bro, they definitely can be good, like, early. Like,
which
100%.
is why I would pick them up from challengers pronto. I would basically have those guys in like an accelerated. Think of like the MLB minor leagues. I would start them in AAA. Like those guys are like they're not going AA, AAA majors. They're basically AAA.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see promise, you pick them up quick.
Yeah.
Is the way I view it.
But you could say that about just like challengers in general, right? Like if anybody's showing promise in challengers early,
I agree with
you
that.
could pick them up quick. Like
you could say
that about challengers in general. And Tony, let's be honest, from the history of the last few years, people don't do that. Like there's been scenarios where people from challengers are getting picked up. But
you want to know why?
It doesn't happen as much as it should be happening.
You want to know a little back end information?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Some of these orgs don't want to pay the cost it takes to drop a player, so it stops them from making roster changes.
Wait, they don't want to pay the cost of dropping a player? What do you mean the cost of dropping a player? Like,
because some of the players have to get paid out like 2 months' salary after they get dropped, for example.
Okay.
So they'd rather the team keep playing with their already existing roster than deal with paying a player that they're dropping months of pay and picking up a new player.
I'm going to be honest. Like, one, that's pathetic if that's what's actually happening.
Trust me, don't get me started, bro. It's fucking disgusting how some orgs do not care. Go ahead.
And two, if that was a concern to them, Tony, they can change contracts, right? Like, instead of giving them 2 months pay, give them 2 weeks pay, right? Boom. If you get dropped, you get 2 weeks pay, but then, boom, you're done, right? Like, they're still going to sign it anyway. These players don't have a choice, especially if they have nowhere to go, right? And there's only one team left, right? Every team's signed. The only team left is Carolina. Right, nobody's getting more than a minimum on that team. There's literally no reason to, unless people are like actually declining that. But who's going to decline that? They can't go anywhere. There's no other teams declining it. Nobody's declining that. Like they shouldn't decline it either.
Here's those teams, by the way, you have.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say those teams, by the way, like Carolina, like because there was always rumors of who was that one player, Mohawk. Remember Mohawk got an offer from like a shit team and he declined it.
He said no. Yep.
He said no. That is like the dumbest thing you can do because bro, the one thing you need as a Challengers player is a chance, a shot. Go to that shit team, show why you're that guy. Whether you're on a shit team or not, you should be able to show people like you can like hang and like keep up, and solidify yourself on that team. And then at the end of the year or when your contract is up, because it's not going to be a crazy contract, it's probably just going to be, especially if you're a Challenger player getting picked up, you're probably getting a minimum up until the end of the season. And at the end of the season, you're a free agent, most likely. Right, that's what they should be signing. Well, that's the only thing.
I mean, the issue is, like, okay, my assumption with Mohawk, Illy got offered, I believe it was Paris or something. I remember him talking about that. The issue is, I think a lot of players who consider themselves, like, I don't know, of the upper echelon of challengers, they don't want to sign a multiple-year minimum deal. But that's just the reality. If you have one offer, you don't really have a choice. Like this year, for example, like, let's use Craze or Mamba. I'm assuming these guys had multiple offers. At least I hope. So if I'm Mamba and I have 3 or 2 bottom tier offers for the same pay, I'm saying I'll sign a 1 year deal, and a 1 year deal only. And whichever team offers me that 1 year deal, I'm assuming both would try to match it. I'm doing whatever I can if I have high stock to sign a 1 year deal.
Yeah,
that only works if you have stock. If you have multiple offers, that's the only way it's going to work. If you're someone who's right now trying to get the 3rd or 4th spot on Carolina, because I'm assuming it's Slasher Craze, you don't have a choice.
See, Carolina can. Here's the thing, though, Tony. I actually do think organizations are smart, and bro, they take advantage of people if they're picking people up from challenges. I actually do believe that they can do that,
and they should.
I mean, they should try, but I think it's just up to those players getting picked up to just be smart, right? Like, read what you sign. Like, don't just get excited and just sign shit. Like, read it and make sure, like, you're actually signing a proper contract that doesn't put you in like such a shit spot. Because bro, there's probably a lot of players who just contract-wise are just sitting in such bad spots because they just, they didn't read their shit.
You're sad they should. So let me explain. Okay.
Well, here's the way I think of it. Let me explain it in one line. It's business, right? That's just
exactly.
That's just business, bro. That's
let me
just
tell
business.
You like this.
You got to make sure they're reading the contract, bro, because I will say, is it like good business? No, it's probably bad business if they know what they're doing, right? And they don't have good intentions.
Great business. It's great for the business. Kind of bad for the player, but here's the reality. If I'm working on a lower budget, I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck. So if I can get a top challenger player on a 2-year minimum deal, I'm going to do that. But if he super performs year 1, I want to make sure he can't just walk away, and then maybe I'll offer him a better 1+1 contract. Let's say, let me give you Craze as an example. Let's say I sign Craze for 2 years for $50K. He has a phenomenal year 1. I know he's going to walk after year 2. I'll bump him to $100K on his 2nd year to get him to sign the 3rd year. Make sense?
Yeah, which is common. That's common. Like bumping pay in years is a very common thing across the board. I know for a fact. Even though I got skumazed with that when the CDL first started and I went to New York, my 2nd year I went down. My 2nd year, and my agent at the time, not Shibby. This is what ended up. For those of you that don't know, I actually fired my agent, and then that's when I started working with Shibby, and then the rest is history. I mean, that's Shibby. I should have been working with Shibby from day one, but Shibby wasn't at the agency at the time. Shibby was doing other stuff, but once I started working with Shibby, it was a lot different. But my agent told me at the time with subliners, and I forget his name, bro. He said that it was common for your second year to go down. Like, that's what he was trying to explain to me. And I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
I mean, it only makes sense if your first year is severely front loaded. So I guess I'll give you an example. Let's say you signed a $600K 2-year deal, and it was 400 year one, 200 year two.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that kind of makes sense if they just wanted to.
But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that because from my knowledge, everybody else's was going up. Right. So like I was like an anomaly. I was an anomaly at the time. Come to find out, my agent at the time was talking to the New York guys. Like he was like almost like negotiating for them. Then like negotiating for me.
You had
like,
who's
like
the shady bastard? What's his name? Who's the shady bastard?
Yeah, I forget his fucking name. He was. It almost felt like he was negotiating for them than for me. Like it almost like after I signed and everything, I started putting two and two together. I'm like
maybe he was safe. He wanted the guaranteed money, so he didn't want to piss off New York. So he was just trying to get a team-friendly deal and a player-friendly deal.
I think he was boys with the New York ownership. Like I think they knew each other. Like I think they're like long.
No way.
Yeah, like I think they actually like knew each other and they did good business together. They shook hands in the past. Like they knew each other. Like these guys knew each other. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, like it opened my eyes to like, yo, you can't have an agent unless you absolutely trust your agent, right? Like you have to trust your agent, what he's doing. That's why I ended up going with Shibby and Connor and WME because, bro, you know how those guys are, Tony. Like those guys are like brothers. You know what I mean? Like those guys won't backstab me or like do no weird. Like they'll always like get what's best for me, right? Like it won't be the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you gotta be careful, bro. You gotta be careful in business, chat. You gotta be careful because people are gonna try and fucking skumaz you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got financial advisor Ben. He's a good guy. You know, I'm not talking about Ben J. Nassim. You know, if Ben J. Nassim, can you imagine if Ben J. Nassim was looking over your finances, Tony?
Well, Tom, I think you're overpaid, so I'm gonna try to get 30% off this deal. You know.
Hey, you're an idiot.